If you're holding Bitcoin right now, then you might want to brace yourself for what's going to happen, because Bitcoin is now right at the bottom of the crucial range that I was outlining for you guys in yesterday's YouTube video. I outlined for you that this range right here is the bottom of our critical area of support. And we're not doing great bits right here to show that we're going to get a bounce. Now, so far, it's been just kind of a slow sell-off as Bitcoin has continued to kind of slide and drag itself lower to the bottom of this range, which should indicate that this sell-off action, could probably, run out of a bit of momentum, at least temporarily, or just kind of like need a breather, right? And if it needs a breather, then sure, we could get a little bit of a bounce. And so what I really need you guys to be keeping an eye on right now is this red line right here at $28,670, because I think that this could turn into an area of resistance for Bitcoin. It was very consistent resistance for Bitcoin for 3 weeks, and this is actually a really big deal, because once Bitcoin entered this range, it was precisely this price level for 24 days that Bitcoin could not break. It was only when Bitcoin finally got above this level that we finally made a significant move to the upside. But before that, our upside was capped at just like 1-2% above this resistance line. So this could turn into a serious problem for Bitcoin. And why am I talking to you about this? It is because we're not really getting good signs on this chart. If we take a look at the 4Flies dashboard right here, I want to show you this. Let me just move this to the side. What we have on this chart is an even higher long and short ratio. We have an even higher long and short ratio now, where retail traders on Binance are actually even more long in the market now than they were yesterday. Yesterday we were at a reading of 60% long positions, but now we're up to 65. We are seeing the opposite on Bybit. Obviously, Bybit is generally going to be having more experienced, better traders, and pro traders on top traders on Binance are also still majority long. So we've got a little bit more of a balance here, but top traders on Binance still bullish as well. It's interesting to see that they are trading alongside retail, but when retail is this heavily skewed to the upside, guys, and we're just kind of like slipping below support levels, I don't have faith. Now, fear and greed index has dropped by a little bit. We're at a reading of 50, so yesterday was 52, nothing crazy. We're not making huge progress there, but we will be looking at these altcoins a little bit later on. I do want to very quickly highlight, I made the Ethereum video yesterday, and I put it on this channel as well. Make sure you watch all of our altcoin videos with this link in the description down below if you're interested in getting them, because we've been actually putting out some really, really useful analysis there, things that have actually been very, very useful for people to make money. And if you want to check out the links to Bybit in the description below, you will also be getting some free cash deposited into your account just as a thank you for signing up using my link. And don't forget, there is that iPhone giveaway where all you need to do is deposit $100 to get entered into it. Moving back to the price here, though, what's really important is this level and finding resistance up here. Now, if we do manage to find resistance up here upon a bounce, I am definitely going to be targeting this area. I just don't think that this support is strong enough, right? Like, the fact that Bitcoin hasn't actually found a bounce yet is really concerning. It's telling me that we're not really responding to the support level really well. So if we do somehow get a bounce up to this level, it would be $1,000 rally, so fairly significant just for the short-term trend. If it turns into a rejection, I don't expect that this level is going to hold again. In fact, I think that the market moving up is exactly what the bears need to have enough momentum to drive it lower below this price level right here. That's how we do a lot of these price moves, by the way. I just want to point this out to you so that we're aware of it, so that you can actually understand this the next time it happens, where we kind of set a low and then we find a little bit of support, we rally up, and then the next time we visit that low, if there's some time, and in this case there was like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever, then the market can quite easily drop below that level, right? So we do it all over here as well, where we kind of set a low right here, and then the next time the market comes down to this low, we sweep it and we drop down quite low. So this is actually very, very common for Bitcoin, and we could be in that kind of setup right now. Now, like I said, if we do end up losing this area of support, I'm going to be looking at the $26,700 area acting as support, but I'm just not too optimistic about it. Like I said yesterday, it is a weak area of support in my opinion. The stronger area of support is right here, where we are at the moment, and we're not even using it particularly well, so I'm not liking that. We can really see now the effects of kind of losing that 4-hour Ichimoku cloud yesterday as well, or 2 days ago, because we are right now closing up completely, and this is about to turn into resistance. So this is where I'm going to start warning you that while we're losing this price level, the market is now starting to finally turn a little bit more bearish. And the reason I'm saying this is like the technical indicators are telling me this. We're losing support levels. We're not responding to support levels very well. I mean, these are classic signs that we're kind of switching into more of a bearish phase right now. That doesn't necessarily mean, I want to make this super clear because, you know, people are going to start taking this out of context. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything's doomed and we're just dead and the market's going to like drop $10,000 now or anything like that. You know, I'm still looking at 25K being, you know, a really nice pullback zone. 24, maybe if we deviate below it. We could even deviate below that down to 22, like I said, right? Definitely possible, and that at that stage would be, you know, like a $9,000 drop from our high. But that stuff isn't, you know, a super high probability in my opinion. I just don't necessarily think that that's like a guaranteed thing that's going to happen. You know, so when I'm talking about the market turning bearish, that only means, you know, a fairly, I mean, you know, just not a worrying pullback really. It's not the end of the world if the market just drops down to here and then continues going back up. I mean, you know, we were here only a month ago. You know, only 5 weeks ago exactly, pretty much, is when we were at 24, 25K. It wouldn't be the end of the world, you know, if we came back down here, tagged these lows, and then continued rising back up. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as I continue to talk about this market right here, because you might be upset about that, but think about how many trading opportunities that opens up. This is such an easy area to go long. It's such an obvious trade. So many people are going to be interested in trading that move, purely because this was an area that really was setting quite major highs for Bitcoin for a very long time. You know, so that makes it very significant in its own right. And you know, a lot of people are interested in, you know, perhaps going long off this level because of that, because it's just an easy bounce zone. And if you are interested in trading that kind of move, again, check out Bybit, link down below if you want to trade on the exchange that I'm using, because they are going to give you up to 30K in free trading ammunition. Guys, before I continue with the analysis, I've got some really interesting stuff I want to talk about later on in this video, including this chart, because we're now fulfilling this. If you guys remember, I was talking to you about this head and shoulders pattern right here, where we formed the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and it's only confirmed when we get the back test right here, potentially you know, taking us to liftoff also at 25K. I'll talk about this in a little bit. What I want to highlight to you though is actually a call that I had with two of our newest yearly VIP members. As you guys know, VIP is my group where I'm sharing all the information on every trade I'm making and just my consideration and all of my analysis. It's basically what you see on this YouTube channel, but it's 100% geared towards trading. It's literally like my trading journal. And it's a super powerful experience. Like, a lot of you guys have been in there and just completely had amazing results. Obviously, people have joined and not seen good results either, because this is dependent on you. But it's a really, really cool group, and the yearly offer, you get phone calls with me. It's the only one where you can do that. Unlimited phone calls. Nobody ever abuses it, and that's why it's unlimited. And I had a call with some guys yesterday. They joined me in a panic because they were in a losing trade, and they ran their account balance down super low. You know, and they were in a late long position. Basically, what they did was they entered a long like up here, but they did it on Ethereum. That's like more or less the long and short of what they did. But the issue is that the leverage was too high, there was no stop loss, and so on and so forth. And guys, I just want to make this quick note of, like, look, a lot of people, they find themselves thinking, all right, shit, I'm gonna pull the trigger on VIP when my trades are going badly. I want you guys to not get to that position. Like, whether or not you join VIP, not my business. That doesn't, quite literally entirely my business, but that's not relevant for this. That doesn't matter to me. What I'm talking about is, don't get yourself in a position where because you haven't been exercising discipline, because you haven't been using basic fucking tools, and you haven't been respecting basic rules that prevent you from losing money, you know, because you haven't done that stuff, you end up being in a really big loss where you're deep underwater and you're struggling to break even, and it's fucking up your psyche, and you're compromised for your next trades, and you're losing confidence. And you know, because a lot of you guys that end up in positions like that are actually really smart. Like, the guys I spoke to yesterday were really switched on, right? Like, I know a lot about the markets, I can talk about them very confidently as a technical analyst, and these guys were the same. They could sustain a conversation with me. It wasn't technical. I didn't have to dumb anything down when I was speaking to them. They knew 100% of what I'm talking about, right? And they still fucked it up because they just weren't following basic rules before they joined VIP. I don't want you guys to find yourself in positions like this. There are so many opportunities, guys. I really, really mean this. This is so important. Smash up the likes and let me know in the comments if you agree with me here. You know, There are so many opportunities in these markets. If the price of Bitcoin loses this level, it's probably dropping down to here, right? Like that's a fairly easy bit of analysis that I can make. Like I don't think we're bouncing at 27.2. I don't think we're bouncing at 26.9. I think we're bouncing, if we're bouncing at all, at 26.7, right? That's a fairly easy bit of analysis for me to tell you guys about. So this is a short, right? This is an easy trade. There was no good trade up here. You couldn't reasonably go long on go long on Bit. Well, yeah, you definitely for fucking sure couldn't have gone long on anything up here, and I've been saying that on the channel, right? When Bitcoin was up here, I was telling you guys this is not where you want to buy. You want to wait for a pullback and hope for a pullback. We might not get a pullback. None of this is guaranteed, but you don't want to be buying up here. You don't want to be that guy, right? So this was like obviously a bad trade, and these guys just weren't very, they just weren't thinking when they were entering the trade. Probably fear of missing out, right? I mean, like when you look at the chart and it looks like this, and it looks like it's just endless possibilities, of course you're gonna kind of try and jump on the bandwagon. But if you just kind of put your sensible hat back on and just keep in mind that actually this is a resistance level, right? Like on the daily time frame, I mean, it's not open to interpretation. This is a resistance level, really big support previously throughout 2021 and 2022. Well, just 2021 actually, and then acting as support over here a little bit in 22. Like obviously it's going to be an area of resistance. Obviously it's not an area that you want to be taking up long positions, and you know this, right? Like a lot of the time you already know that it's just not the right thing to do, but fear of missing out makes you override these rules and ignore them. Guys, there's too many easy opportunities here. This is the point I want to make. Like a short down here would make sense as a very aggressive day trade. I don't think it's a particularly good trading idea, but like if you're an aggressive trader, this is definitely something you'd consider. If you're a long trader, this is an obvious area to go long, right? Here's something else that I want to point out. If we take a Fibonacci and draw it from the low that we set at 19.7, where everyone was acting like I was the fucking idiot, right, when I entered my long position up here and rode it all the way to the top, guys, $200,000 in profit, right? This is what you're seeing inside of VIP. I'm not fucking around. Like I'm actually trading these markets. You're seeing how this is evolving, right? When I'm at 300% profit, I'm telling you why I'm not doing anything with my position, why I'm going to hold on to it. You can actually take note of it here. My margin in my trade, I had $30,000 left in the trade when I was at 300% profit. Look, when I hit 400%, I had only taken off another 10K. I'm not aggressively taking profits on this trade, or I wasn't back then at that point, because I knew that I was going to make more money on this trade. You're getting the evolution of my trades inside of VIP alongside actually seeing what they are. So that's a really, really big value add. And of course, when you've got the 𝐷𝐷𝐹𝐺 Academy course side by side with that, you've also got the theory where you can learn everything that I'm doing as well. It's a really, really powerful package. Here's the thing is that this support area, this 382 area, lines up exactly at this low. This is actually the one big redeeming factor of this level that I wanted to highlight with you guys, although of course the better level is always the 618 level, and that is down at my other green line over here, 23.8. so that's really, really interesting to see how that's playing out right here, how the Fibonacci's are lining up so close with the levels that I drew just using my eyeballs, and it just shows you that the TA really does work. These levels do end up getting respected. Now this is a really big deal. This is an obvious long. My point is that there are lots of easy short opportunities, easy long opportunities, relatively safe opportunities where you don't have to, if you go long off this level, you don't have to have a ridiculously wide stop loss. You have no reason to not set a stop loss, right? Like an obvious stop loss would be like, I don't know, 26.1, right? Like it's pretty easy to set a stop loss if you're going long on a level like this. It's pretty easy to set a stop loss if you're going short below this level. You just want your stop loss probably like above this consolidation, right? Like, because if we go above this consolidation, if we drop down here and then rise back above to this level, it's probably over and we're probably just finding support, right? So it's an easy, but like if you're just doing stupid things because, I don't know, you think like this time it's going to be okay, or whatever bullshit you feed yourself, or maybe there's no bullshit you feed yourself and you just don't even think and you trade, which would be even worse. Don't do it, because there's too many easy opportunities to make money in the market, right? There's too many textbook sensible trades you could be making. Why would you do something stupid? That's my take, that's my 2 cents for today, and I really had to get this run off my chest because a lot of people are fucking up these opportunities. Like, this is a really good market, right? Like, if you're not making money in this market right now, a million things are going wrong. This is a good market. This rally was so organic, right? This rally was so good. We had great breakout volume at the times where it mattered as well. Like now we're dropping, the price action while we're dropping is healthy as well. You know, the fact that we're dropping at all is healthy, guys. Take a look at this chart. This is a really big deal, right? We were 61%, our target was 61% to the upside from our breakout point. We're now coming back down. We've spent a good amount of time, about a month above our breakout point, and we're now coming back down to retest it. Guys, the probability that a support level like this holds if we've been above it for a month is so fucking high, right? Like, it's just so so often when we form these kind of patterns, regardless of which market we're in, it tends to find support off levels that are strong, like 25k. I'm not saying that means we will find support, but look at the indicators here. We've got the Ichimoku cloud providing support down here. Even if we don't fall down to this exact point and it happens a little bit faster, it's only down at like 24k, 23 or 24.5, whatever the case may be. These are all price levels that we know are good, that we could be finding support in. A lot of this stuff actually makes a lot of sense for Bitcoin, so I really like what I'm seeing here, right? Like, I think that if we do come down here, the probability of a bounce is just good enough, right, to where it makes sense to kind of hold on to my position. Look at that, we're actually making that drop right now. So still, yeah, this is the next Fibonacci level at 27.3. If this does act as support, I would be quite surprised, so I'm not actually paying attention to it. But 382 level right here, this is definitely important. I think that if this level fails, the even more obvious short opportunity is going short here, and this is actually a really big gap. You're playing this is the gap all the way down to this red line right here. This is a huge percentage range. Ignore the 0.5 Fibonacci. This is a 6.66% drop right here. If it ends up happening, that's a really nice range, right? Like, this isn't as big, it's about 4%, still good, but there's a much better one right here. If you're day trading, you'd probably end up taking both. You know the deal. Bybit, by the way, is really well built for day traders. I want to be extremely clear. I think day trading is a bad idea. I think trading more frequently is a bad idea for most people, but regardless of which style, you know, Bybit's really built for you. It's professional traders, right? I mean, you can see it in the way the long and short ratio is split as well. I mean, majority short right now in the market is dropping, right? So Bybit traders make money. That's just how it goes, and I'm glad to be contributing to that as well at this stage in this market. But right here, very important drops, and with the head and shoulders pattern, I mean, you know, this is the best thing that we could be getting, you know, to potentially validate this move and give us another $15,000 to the upside off this support level up towards $40,000. And the reason we've got this 61% target is simply because this is how big the range was from the bottom of our head to our neckline with this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So that's what I'd be expecting to work out for Bitcoin as well. Now, I want to take a quick look at the indicators that you know I always pay attention to. Let's go ahead and remove this Fibonacci, although it is very important. Again, I do just want to highlight that 618 level as well, lining up very nicely with you know, the potential level that I've been saying Bitcoin is quite likely to deviate down to potentially as well. If we take a look at some of the key indicators that I like paying attention to, the daily EMA ribbon is still beautiful. It gives us support basically all the way down to this green line. So that's as far as our momentum support goes for the weekly time frame right now. Let's take a look at the, I'm sorry, for the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly though. Weekly EMA ribbon is sitting up at down at $25,000, but we are starting to get bullish crossovers here. It is bearish, this EMA ribbon, but if we fall down to it, I'm sure it would be okay for Bitcoin. But we are starting to get some crossovers. Interestingly, it's a Friday today, and if we hold on to this price action, we do also have a bearish engulfing candle here. This is something that I've literally just picked up on since I've opened the weekly time frame. So this could turn into a bit of a problem for Bitcoin. BLX isn't going to show this to us, my bad. Let me take another chart. Let's use this one right here. And I'm just going to remove all of these things right here. Yeah, quite clearly a bearish engulfing candle right now. We have, in 1 week, we have eclipsed this week of trading and this week of trading and this week of trading and this week of trading with the candle bodies. So we have, within one candle, eclipsed 4 weeks of price action, which is pretty bad. You know, that's pretty bearish. When we get signs that the market might have topped, it looks like this, and that's basically what we're in right now. So there's real potential for the market to have topped, and this is actually one of the other big things that I wanted to talk to you about, is just more of a psychological thing. Look, if this is the top of the market, it makes a lot of sense. 30K. This is exactly where you expect to find resistance. It can't be more clear than this. So, you know, with that in mind, we did see this coming, and that's why, you know, like, if, by the way, if you saw my position at the very beginning, it was 110 roughly that I put in, right? So I'm now down to $20,000 on my trade. Most of my position has been closed. That's why I've already made so much money on this trade, right? Like, I've already secured such a big profit on this trade because I've been closing it. And the reason I've closed it so much up to this point is because this was an obvious place that we could be getting a reversal. All of these things are obvious almost all the time. It's just that people ignore them, or people think this time will be different, and so on and so forth. But I promise you, if you just stop thinking this time will be different, or this time I can make an exception, and you just stop doing that, you'll probably make a lot more money. Like, at least that's what happened for me. I can't make you that promise. I take that back, but you know, that's at least what happened for me. But when the market tops, it looks like this. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. But at the very same time, long and short ratio, you know, and so on, fear and greed index, I don't know, I'm starting to get the feeling that if this thing just kind of drops down to 25, and if that alone causes enough fear, right? Like, if 25 puts the fear and greed index in the high 30s, low 40s, that might be enough to reset the market for a little bit for us to then continue riding higher. You know, and so the other thing that I think this very well could be is almost like a pullback to scare people, and it's going to intensify a lot if it takes the market all the way down here to 25, but a pullback to scare people, where people start thinking that actually this is going to start looking like this, or all the other situations over the last like 2 years where we've just been getting constantly fucked in this market, where we're going to end up doing that again right now, you know, and it's almost, it has become a bit predictable, right? Like, that's what happens every time, you know, that we do something like, I mean, there's no, you know, this is bad. This is super bearish, seeing a weekly candle like this. Now, again, I have to reiterate, there are 2 days left until this candle closes. So a lot can change, even on a weekend for Bitcoin. This can definitely recover back up within that time. But if it doesn't, it is a big bit of progress that we are losing. And that is clear. But again, I think that's really going to sour the appetite for traders in this space. You know, this is a real disbelief rally, right? We've been speaking about that on this YouTube channel for a while. I've given you some really good data on it as well, you know, to show you why this could be a disbelief rally and so on, you know, and just sentiment. I mean, you know, you don't have to look further than just like logging onto Twitter and just kind of reading what people are saying, or like going in a group chat and like kind of understanding like what people are talking about. I just realized I've been talking about this candle and I've been drawing on the chart. Well, I haven't been drawing on the chart, but I've been like circling it, and you haven't been able to see the chart. But that's okay, because you don't need to. You would have understood what I was talking about. But yeah, you know, like it has been a lot of disbelief in this rally, and so this is a really good way to kind of turn that up even higher. So you know, like, my conviction to the upside isn't changing. I knew we would have problems at 30K. That's why I downsized my position significantly while we were approaching that level. You know, and I know that we're probably going to have support down at 25. So I'm just not too worried about it, right? I mean, it's just a pullback within an uptrend. It's not like, you know, we've never done that before. Of course, we want this to happen forever. But when this happens, and this happens afterwards. So really, what we want is more sustainable price action like this, right? This is how we can move up. It's when we get pullbacks. Any healthy trend has pullbacks. It's just normal, right? And so I'm not worried. That's my take on Bitcoin right now. You know, we're pulling back. You know, brace yourself. It might get a little bit worse, sure, but as if that really matters, as if that's a problem, right? It's not. Traditional finance, okay, and nothing crazy, right? I mean, we're just kind of a little bit higher than we were yesterday. It's the end of the trading week. We're consolidating at resistance. You tell me. Consolidating at resistance is bullish. If this thing ends up getting a breakout, I think that's just going to stop whatever bullshit Bitcoin is doing, and Bitcoin's going to continue rising up. So that's going to be pretty nice for us. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. The dollar is down a little bit, but it's still consolidating right at the $2,000 level, so it's looking super strong. I'm sorry, gold, my bad. And the dollar is just kind of sideways a little bit. The altcoin market is getting hit pretty hard. Ethereum has gotten hit obviously a lot harder than Bitcoin, about double as bad. And you can see a lot of blood just kind of around the space in general right now. So there are a lot of opportunities brewing because of that, and that is looking really, really good. So I still haven't entered any altcoin altcoin positions. I said to you guys that I think we're going to get better levels, and we're getting them right now. So I'm very glad that I waited. Link continuing to fall as well, even though it did manage to pull a really good rally. So you know, each of these coins I think could be kind of just heading into important support areas, and I'm going to be covering them with you right now on the 4Flies Daily channel. So if you have enjoyed this video, head on over to the very first link in the description down below to the 4Flies Daily channel, and that's when the next altcoin videos will be uploaded. Again, if you see an altcoin video on this channel, it means that you're seeing it super late. So if you're interested in ever catching that stuff, go to this channel, subscribe to it, tick the bell so you get notified when I upload to it, and that way you get the content you want when it's hot, because this market is moving quickly. You don't want delayed analysis, guys. That's a really big deal. So definitely do keep that in mind. While you're down there, guys, take advantage of the buy bid offer. You're getting up to $30,000 signing up using my link down below. Also, by the way, it's free to trade spot. So if you just want to buy, sell coins normally, you don't pay any fees on it, which is really cool. And of course, I want to highlight to you that $100 offer, where if you just deposit $100, you get entered for an iPhone 14 Pro Max in a giveaway as well, which is really cool. And also VIP, if you're interested in VIP, if you want to get the yearly package with unlimited phone calls with me, alongside free access into our Advanced Academy course, which is $2,700 if you buy it alone. You don't have to pay anything for it if you get the VIP package with the yearly package with VIP. You can do that by following these links, or just by looking at these steps on screen right here. So there you go. This puts you in a direct chat with me. You can ask me any questions you like, so on and so forth. If you have enjoyed this video, you know exactly what to do, and I'll see you all on the 4Flies Daily channel right after this one. Cheers.